The way that we work is that we basically have super simple games that anyone can play, anyone can win, but with life-changing prizes on the line.
Is space hard?
Oh, no, just not at all.
Like a walk in the park, man.
Easy peasy. There's no plan. There's anything that did work for someone else is not going to work for you. I think one of the complexities that we have here is that for really any builder really needs to juggle building for the future along with building for the market that exists today.
I'm here with my man, Krish. We're about to go have a drink, talk about Solana, talk about Accelerate, talk about why New York City. And what's better, have it over a beer or what?
I don't know any other way.
Let's do this. Come on in and we'll go in, check out DBA, and
Thank you, sir.
have a cheers to
Cheers.
New York City.
To New York City, to Solana, to Accelerate.
But now, give me the 30 seconds. Who are you? What are you building? And what are you doing?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Krish. I'm one of the co-founders of a project called RekTech. We are based on Solana, and we describe ourselves as one of the most fun things that you can do in Web3 and in crypto. We put ourselves in the kind of consumer category, but the way to think about us is like the world's craziest game show. The way that we work is that we basically have super simple games that anyone can play, anyone can win, but with life-changing prizes on the line. And again, in this world where it's, again, everything's decentralized, you have complete ownership over your assets, all that kind of stuff. And so, I think that when we think about kind of games that anyone can play, anyone can win, we always kind of say the phrase that we use oftentimes is degen Wordle, right? So this is something that's super simple. You can take a little, a couple minutes out of your day. I always say that no one's too busy for it. It doesn't matter if you're the president or of Solana or the country, like you can find time to play. Totally actually has played, which is super cool. And it's this super fun, simple games that drive you crazy, but again, with the opportunity to win life-changing prizes.
Unreal. Tell me, 2025, what are you guys looking the past 6 months that you guys have shipped?
Yeah.
What features were they, right? That you want to definitely share with us. Tell us about those last 6 months, but then also tell us, what does the next 6 months look like for you
sure.
guys?
Yeah, so I think the last 6 months was really about kind of building the foundation of RekTech. That was building this platform. These, again, we have dozens of games now that are fun and different, and kind of have these, this kind of variety that allows you to have these different experiences day after day. One of the cool things about RekTech is you never know what game is coming when you're playing them, and so kind of building kind of this variety pack of games, and then a really strong foundation utilizing Solana. Were the kind of major components over the last 6 months. And so that's something that we've done now and successfully, right? Like we've had now over 100,000 people play our games over 6 million times in the last 6 months, right? So now we know that the platform itself is very, very stable. And over the next 6 months, what you're really kind of seeing us do is the platformization of the RekTech platform, partnerships with both brands inside of inside of Web3, and then outside of Web3. And this is something that we've done very successfully in the past, right? We partnered with top meme coins like Bonk. We partnered with DeFi protocols like Jito. And now we're in talks with, again, brands that exist very much outside of Web3. But I think the cool thing about RekTech is that we can bring people into the space in a way that isn't this daunting experience of what's a wallet? What's this? What's that? They're coming to play a game to win life-changing prizes. And that's, again, I think one of the big kind of, I would say that not hacks, but Trojan horses that we have with, I think that brings people into Web3 and into the space, is about just bringing them really awesome opportunities that happen to be in Web3.
Yeah, I love the way that you kind of are telling us the tech isn't supposed to be something that you sell. The tech isn't something that's sexy. The tech isn't something that I need to shove in your face.
Yeah.
Let me shove the fun game.
The experience.
The experience. Let me immerse you in that. Let me show you what it's all about. And I think speaks volumes for the partners that you have, right?
Oh, for sure.
And what you're going after. Because I think there's so many Web3 projects right now that are very much lost in the sauce. And I think it's one of those things that it gets to the point where they realize they have to branch out of crypto Twitter. They have to branch out of the language they use.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have been able to do that just now.
For sure. Look, I have a lot of empathy for builders in the space in general because it is freaking hard, right? Like we have a market.
Is space hard?
Oh no, just
Oh,
no,
man,
not
this
at
is
all.
like
I
a
don't
walk in
know.
the park,
Yeah,
man.
easy peasy. I think actually we were saying it before, even before we got on, right? There's no blueprint, right? There's no plan. There's anything that did work for someone else is not going to work for you. I think one of the complexities that we have here is that like there's, for really any builder really needs to juggle building for the future along with building for the market that exists today, right? Because if you're building for the future and these amazing things, in fact, even when I was at HQ just now, I met this guy and he was telling me about his project and he described it like, he's like, the way that he was stopping cheating was like, you have to have your webcam on. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's tough. Like, that's tough. It's like, it's a good answer, but the question is, will the market do it?
Well, market do it is one thing. This is one of the things that's understanding the user and the audience, right?
Exactly.
Like, can the computer handle it, right? Do I have the accessibility? Well, all these so many questions. So I think you nailed it there.
Yeah, and so like I think that again, when we talk about kind of crypto Twitter and building for them, you have to, like I guess like I said, and I think that's the thing that with RekTech that we spend a lot of time thinking about is like, how do we build something that is attractive to the market we have today? Because only by being successful with the market that we have today can we actually build for the market that we want and everyone thinks about and dreams about for tomorrow, right? Because it is, you can't have one without the other.
Yep.
And so I think people that are building for the market of today and today only, that'll, because the day you're not cool anymore, the day that people move on from what you're doing because there's something else that's new, bright and shiny, where does that leave you? Simultaneously, if you're building purely for the market of tomorrow, who knows if you'll be around the day that day comes.
Yeah. You hit it on like some, as a marketer, right? Like, there's a lot of metas in Web3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telegram games, and then we went to like, my God,
Meme coins,
meme coin. It's
NFTs,
like, yeah, it's
mixtures.
always been this thing, and a lot of people chase.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens with chasing is that you spend time and you lose time.
Yeah.
You spend money and you lose money doing some of these things that could potentially, instead of focusing on it, would have been allowing you to build what you were exactly building for.
For sure. I mean, like, look, I think that there's something to be said as a builder about like iteration. Again, like to a certain extent, it's about stealing and then improving, right? So the thing is that like to a certain extent, there's this idea where like oftentimes we fall in love with our own ideas, but at the same time, it's actually not selfish, but it's like almost like ego based to think that you can make something so different from what's worked before because you think it's better. Just because you think it's better doesn't mean that everyone's gonna think it's better. Even in creative work, there's a term of art that we like a lot at RekTech and we talk about a lot, which is like, how do you build something that's novel, new, but also familiar, right? And again, broaching that balance is really, really important because that's if it's something that's too novel, they get lost. It's scary. I don't know what this is. If it's a copycat of something else that already exists, they're like, you kind of saw that with things like Pump Fun, right? Like, how many different kind of launch pads came out?
We're in the launch pod war right now.
Exactly. And so it's very curious to see kind of what's going to happen where like, can you actually have a race to the bottom with launch pads? Or is it something where Pump Fun will just continue to dominate because they were a first mover? They built something that they wanted or they saw a need for.
Well, and I think the thing I'll say this is Pump Fun has the advantage right now. They know their users. Mm-hmm. They know what the users, how they got on, what was their issues and everything. Anyone starting right now, it's going to start from zero. Yep. And I think like they're going to experience some of the things they never experienced on Pump Fun. So
I mean, I can't stress, I mean, I know you said it, so you obviously believe what you're saying, but I can't stress how much I agree with you. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people understand, especially when I always say this, is that technology itself is a commodity. Is anything, theoretically speaking, most things I should say, if you wanted to pay someone to build something, they could build it. The thing that isn't a commodity, there's two things. One is creativity, and then the second item is really the expertise, the intellectual property that is intangible, specifically around knowledge and experience, right? So there's like, if I were to start a launchpad tomorrow, could I make one that functions just as well as Pump Fun? For sure. But at the same time, would I have the education and the knowledge that comes from the nuance of running a launchpad? Absolutely not.
Yep.
And that's really the thing that separates winners from losers in a lot of ways.
No, I love that, man. I think it's, if you're a founder, if anybody listening to it, I think this is something you must Just make sure you play back with your team and say, look, innovation is cool, but know what innovation really means and what you're trying to do, and not be a copy pasta, because it's not always copy pasta.
Exactly right. I mean, I think that, again, like, look, there's exceptions to every rule, and
Totally.
nothing is kind of a kind of pure play rule or commandment, so to speak. But I would say that generally speaking, like, there's that, what is it? It's like, if you're reading this, it's too late. And I think that's oftentimes the thing that I see to be very, very true, specifically in Web3, because again, the thing about hype cycles specifically in Web3 is that they are even faster than kind of more kind of traditional consumer Web 2. And so I think that oftentimes, like, if you see a really great idea and be like, oh, I've been inspired by this, let me do something that is similar to this. By the time you even get to launching it, it might not even be cool anymore.
Yeah, tokenize it, right?
Tokenize it.
That's it.
That's all you
Tokenize
gotta
what
do.
he's saying. Look, man. You brought up a lot of great points. We've talked a little bit about RekTech. The next 6 months of RekTech. What's that one message that you would want to send if you were in front of that partner, if you were in front of that gamer, of why RekTech?
I mean, I think that RekTech, like I said, I think that there's two components to it. One is that you're talking about two very different audiences, but both very important. I think that in today's world, specifically in Web3, attention is a very, very difficult thing to kind of garner, right? Like, you think about like token buybacks, those don't work as well as they used to. Like, retweet, follow, that doesn't work as much as they used to. Again, we talk about even like the farming campaigns, all that kind of stuff. People are tired of that. And so I think the whole idea of having like interactive entertainment for your community in a way that can actually bring people together, gamifying the ability to kind of like, instead of just giving away rewards and things like that, like give people the opportunity to have agency around whether they do win something or don't.
Yep.
And I think us being able to provide that at scale for our partners is a really exciting thing, because it does bring a lot of engagement around the community, as opposed to something where just like, oh yeah, I clicked for a raffle or something like that.
Totally.
I think simultaneously, for the consumer, the thing that I'd oftentimes say is that what people really like about RekTech is that we have a particular model that really resonates with the audience today. The thing about Web3 that I oftentimes say is that it's global, but it's small, right? So it's this thing where you can have people in New York City, you can have people in San Francisco, you can have people in Honolulu, in New Zealand, in Tokyo, North Korea, not North Korea, I guess, but South Korea, the Middle East, etc. And so things that you actually do have to cater to a large segment of people that have different first languages, that have different time zones, etc. So the question with RekTech, the thing that's really cool about us is that our games are each game that we have is open for 24 hours and really only takes 5 minutes to play. It's not language based, so it doesn't matter what language you speak. You can learn how to play it in
That's awesome.
10 seconds, and it doesn't matter if you're playing it at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. There's time for you to play it because it only takes 5 minutes.
Drunk or sober?
Drunk or sober.
It doesn't matter.
Honestly,
you can play RekTech.
I play drunk. It's great. I highly recommend it. But yeah, no, I think that's really kind of the thing that I think makes us special, is that we are really kind of well positioned for the crypto audience of today, because it does allow them to do the thing that they love doing, which is effectively making or losing money through these kind of more interactive engagements.
Yeah.
And so I think that in a lot of ways we're effectively an allegory of the kind of Web3 market as exists today, but in a gamified manner.
No, I love it, love it. Hey man, tell me, how you feeling? How are the vibes? What's going through your mind here in your backyard?
I'm honestly, as someone who's traveled plenty for conferences, I think, or just any type of crypto gathering, just having people in New York City is always the best, just because again, it's everyday life, but then at the same time you have all of your best friends, new friends come to town. Again, I actually just came from like a cabal lunch, if you want to call it that.
The New York City cabal?
It was a Solana marketing cabal. It was actually pretty interesting. And, again, you got to meet a lot of really great people, a lot of people that you're friends with on Telegram. And, here we are just breaking bread, having brunch. And now I'm hanging out with you. I got to stop by the Solana HQ. And yeah, I mean, it's always just so great to see the city alive with crypto.
Dude, I think it's crazy that we're here in New York City, and it's very much easily now people are understanding crypto.
Oh, for
5
sure.
years ago, if you told me this, we would have been like, hey, the mayor had something going on last night. I would have been like, they're probably going to ban crypto,
Yeah.
right? And now we're like, no, we're all getting like the masterminds in crypto in a room and talking about it and all this stuff. And like, man, talk about the progression there. It's so wild.
It is, and over such a short period of time too. And I think like that's always one of the things that's so. I mean, that's the interesting thing about crypto is like really just like how fast it's evolved over the course of the last what 10, 15 years maybe, right? And I think that the opportunity for really builders, and I've been building in crypto for, gosh, almost 7 years now. And so I think the thing about us is that we've kind of recognized is just like how much the space has evolved because of builders that are US based, a lot of builders that are actually New York based.
Yeah, man, I think that's just something like it's really cool to say, but also how easier crypto is getting, right?
Oh my
I mean,
God.
like you're talking about how long you've been in here. I remember the times where going on the website, swapping, bridging, connecting somewhere else to get more gas.
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
it was a nightmare.
It was.
And
no.
now, like the simplicity is there. It's so much also off-the-shelf products that are helping projects like you guys build, right?
Oh, for
Infrastructure and everything.
No, I mean when our first project, the first time that we had launched something, it was on ETH mainnet, right? Solana was still very much in its infancy, right? It wasn't even a real option, right? But to have a layer one like Solana that is fast, cheap, secure, easily accessible, it makes Solana a no-brainer. And then simultaneously, another New York-based company that just got to shout them out is Privy, right? You have to be, I'm sure you're familiar with them,
course.
right? Like they are the gold standard for
Totally.
just kind of wallet connections, OAuth, all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff did not exist. I'm not even talking, like we're talking about like 24, 25. This stuff didn't exist in 21, 22.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, building on ETH mainnet with just MetaMask and all that kind of stuff back in the day was a nightmare compared to what it's like today.
Man, I can't tell you that progression. If you look at the last couple years, you look at the last year, this is a critical year in crypto, I think, 2025, as this market is really ramping up.
Oh, for sure.
The vibes are high.
Yeah.
Accelerate here. What's the thing that you're looking forward to this week? Is it to meet other products? It's to see the advancement of Solana? Is there something that stands out for you this week?
Well, I think the thing that Solana is particularly good about is, because I think at the end of the day, every single chain, what do they care about? Oh, TVL, TVL, TVL. Obviously, Solana has that in spades, but I think the thing that Solana really cares about deeply, and I think the thing that really makes them special is their emphasis and focus on culture, right? They don't care just about the kind of the DeFi or the financial aspects of it, but rather are we bringing the culture of humanity into the blockchain, into Web3, across so many different types of verticals, right? That's everything from consumer, that's gaming, again, that's DeFi, that's these newer expressions and primitives that you see with things like meme coins. Like Solana is effectively the hub and the home for all these, kind of cultural expressions in crypto.
I love the way that you've expressed it, the way that you're putting it together. Man, look, New York City, Accelerate, it's all happening this week. Mm-hmm. What's on your schedule this week? What is that like event or meeting that you're looking forward to this week? Is there something that's like, man, you're just like waiting and counting down to it?
Well, tonight, actually, one of my favorite events, they actually do it often. So one of our investors, really, really great investors, Collab Currency, really, really strong investors. They are really great in the consumer space in particular. But whenever there's events in New York City, they always host this like pizza party at their office where they just have Joe's Pizza, which is some of the best pizza New York slice.
You might have to go, man.
Yeah, New York slice that you can get. Obviously drinks, which is great. And then, but most importantly, they have just a really, really great crowd every single time I've gone. In fact, the way that I even connected with Solana for the first time ever was because of this party.
Wow.
Where I met Jerry. Shout out Jerry at this event. So I'm really excited. That's going to be tonight. I have a meeting with a partner at Accelerate tomorrow, which will be cool. And I can't say who, but it's pretty big. And
the alpha. Drink up the beer, maybe I'll come out.
But as soon as we get up, I'll tell you. and then that's really it. But then otherwise, again, I think also the kind of like the beautiful kind of like happenstance moments. In fact, this is so funny. At the brunch today, I was sitting there and there was this guy basically. We're going around, and he basically says, "Oh, on X I go by so and so," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're that guy?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then basically, I pulled up my X account, and we had this entire exchange once upon a time, talking about RekTech. and I had no idea it was this guy, and he had no idea I was that other guy, and like it was this kind of crazy moment where you are putting names to faces, and there are all these kind of like just magical kind of run-ins that occur.
Yeah, I think that's probably the coolest thing is to be, even with you, right? I've talked to you over a Google Meets. I've never gotten to meet you.
It's true.
But it's cool to just walk around and, you know, they're like, Jorge, and of course, like I am great when I see you face, right? PFP and then correlating, man, I'll say I'm 38, man.
Yeah.
My brain is already rotted because of crypto Twitter.
So
like it's already
So
too much.
real.
But it's great to be able to say, hey, oh man, I know who you are. There's conversations that we've had. It's great to put the people behind it. Look, I think Accelerate this week is going to be massive. But man, 6 months from today is Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Breakpoint.
Oh man.
Oh, are you excited?
I
What are
can't
you
wait.
excited for? What are you going?
I mean, I got it, right?
You got it.
You gotta go. I mean, I went to.
Make sure he gets the time off for Abu Dhabi.
Thank you.
He already booked his trip, so just so you let you know.
Yeah, Jordan, please. And so, yeah, no, I mean, we were at Breakpoint in Singapore, and it was just such a fantastic event. They really, I mean, Solana really knows how to throw a party, or conference party.
This week has been wild,
It's
only
crazy.
day 3.
You told me how many steps?
Oh man, 43,000.
43,000 steps.
Yeah.
It's absurd. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Breakpoint. I mean, I think that there's always a ton of really great announcements that are really kind of centered around that particular activation. And I mean, Solana's just really kind of moving the needle forward. I say to people all the time, I was like, I don't know where else you would tokenize your community. I mean, like, it is really at this current moment in time, and for as long as they want to keep the crown, so to speak, like, they are the hub of Web3.
Yeah, man. No, I think look, when I look at it from a VC standpoint, when I look at it from a product standpoint, when I look at it from a consumer standpoint, when I look at it, man, across all the other blockchains, there's just nobody else right now. It's definitely in its own path right now, and it knows its mission of what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that they did a number of things right. You know, someone else actually put it well. I think that in a lot of ways they zigged when a lot of people zagged. You know, you really think about kind of Solana's rise to dominance over the course of the last, like, you know, 3-4 years, and it has a lot to do with their emphasis on supporting builders with really, really great technology. The fact that they are a layer 1 that is fast, that is cheap, that is focused on culture. These are things that are incredibly important. And I think that the simplicity of accessing blockchain technology via Solana is, I don't know who comes close.
Yeah, it's funny, man. You just mentioned that. I actually spoke to a dev maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, and he goes, one of the reasons why Solana, he goes, a lot of happy devs means a lot of good devs. That means like a lot of work is being put out. When the devs are happy, he goes, like, work is at Solana like one of the, like, it's performing at its all-time best.
We've built on a number of blockchains at this juncture, and don't get me wrong, you know, like, they all have their pros and cons,
and everybody has their own niche, I would say, within.
For sure.
I think.
But I gotta say, I mean, like, with Solana, especially once you do kind of figure out, like, all right, like, this is how you know, Rust and all that kind of stuff work. It works, and I think, like, that's the thing. Especially when you're building, it's already freaking hard enough. If your underlying technology is causing you trouble, well, what the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah, totally.
So I think, like, from that perspective, you know, we've never had any problems. It's, you know, we even again, something as simple as the transaction fees, right? Like, I mean, people take that for granted.
Totally.
They take it for granted. There's so many other times where you're like, do I even want to do this transaction because do I want to pay this much in gas? Something you have to think about it. And I think, like, those are things that really make it special.
Krish, look, man, we're in your hometown city. You mentioned the pizza. You mentioned Joe's Pizza. It's a spot that I gotta check out.
Oh, for sure.
But give me the alpha. Like, what do you do outside of Web3? What are the spots that we need to check out?
Oh, man.
We're here at a DBA, a local that it's right down the street from you.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Nintendo Switch here. You talked about playing video games here. What's the spots that I need to check out this week?
The place, the number one spot for right now, my favorite spot, and this is how you know that I'm dead ass about this. I go to this place 1-2 times a week. It's called Super Burrito. It's in Greenwich Village, right? Just south of Washington Square Park. And it is this amazing, obviously Mexican spot, where they have fantastic cocktails. They have a very interesting shot combo, which is called the Pico Back, which is basically a shot of tequila followed by a shot of pico de gallo juice. And then when I say that their menu is just awesome, right? Really awesome California style burritos. But my favorite menu item is called the Dank Wrap, which is basically like a gourmet Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell if you've ever had one of those.
Of course. Who hasn't?
It is so good. So I take all my dates there, I take all my friends there, like it is the spot.
Hey man, you want to take your
Let's go.
fellow
Let's go.
Web3 builder with you?
Let's go. I'm
Hey
ready.
man, I appreciate the time, man. I appreciate you coming on, talking a little bit about what you're building, talking about Solana, Accelerate, Abu Dhabi, man. There's like so many
So
things.
much.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But man, I'll give you the last $1 million question. Where do we find you? How do we find you?
Oh.
And what are the plugs?
Yeah, well, I would say that at the end of the day, RekTech is the place to follow and be and all that kind of stuff. So please follow at RekTech, RekTech. If you want to get in contact with me for whatever reason, I don't know why you would. My name is on X or Twitter, I go by Caesar RekTech. So I'm chronically online. So if you ever need me, just shoot me a DM and I'll be there.
Well, man,
Hey,
I appreciate it.
was a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. Cheers
To Solana.
Take care.